WRPB Studios. So the pretty lady sitting next to me has a company, and she's going to explain the name to you because I'm not going to do it. But sitting next to me is Amanda Thompson,
Yes, yes.
and you found what I love about what you do is it's a niche idea.
Absolutely.
So what's the name of your company?
So the company's called Treasure Coast Head Spa.
All right, explain it before we go any further.
All right. So Treasure Coast Head Spa is scalp therapy treatments. They originated in Japan. It's been around in Japan and China for 15 to 20 years. Very hard to find in the U.S. It came about the U.S. through TikTok, which is crazy that anything can make it through the internet. Um, I just saw it going super viral and saw the area could use it and people would love it. And so I made the leap. And
Okay, what is that kind of treatment?
so it is essentially a complete lay down shampoo bowl. You're completely laying flat. So you're not at a bowl like you would at a regular hair salon where it hurts your neck to lean back.
Right.
You're completely laid down so it's comfortable. There is a halo water attachment that creates a waterfall effect.
Oh, interesting.
So it's a very cool feeling in general, something very unique. And then it's scalp health. So we all want long, beautiful, luscious hair.
Some of us just want hair.
Exactly. So these not only stimulate the scalp, it's a feel good treatment. It's extremely relaxing, but we're doing multiple steps to care for the scalp in the same way that we would go get a facial.
Do you think, because you've been around the industry how many years?
About 5 years.
So I have this thought that washing your hair and dealing with everything probably clogs some of the pores,
Absolutely.
and then the hair doesn't want to grow.
So yes, so that's something that we do too, and we're very adamant about is the education behind it. It's more than just a hair wash. It's more than just a wellness treatment. We do a scalp analysis before and a scalp analysis after, so you get to actually see up close what you're looking at when we put it on there. You can see if there's dandruff, oil buildup. You can see each follicle from the hair. And it's really cool to look at. People are always like, "What?" Like they'll be like, "I just washed this morning," and I'm like, "Nope, we're taking a look." And you put it on there, and it's so up close to the scalp. They're like, "Oh, I did not know that was there."
Right, most people don't know.
Yeah, or even just like walking the dog, gardening, anything. We get so much dirt and stuff on our fingers. We run our hands through our hair. We adjust our hair. All that stuff ends up in our hair. It clings to the scalp. And when you're shampooing, you're in there. You're doing a quick shampoo. You want to get out. You're not actually parting your hair and getting on the actual scalp. So the buildup that we see aside, it's really beneficial for people that have really bad psoriasis, dandruff. I mean, some people really do have scalp issues, and this is wonderful for it. So,
So when I've been interviewing for as long as you're alive,
yeah.
and when I learn something new, I'm thinking that yes, it's great and probably comfortable, but the rest of our skin deals with some of these issues too, correct?
Absolutely. So, we offer a few other services there as well.
Okay.
We do
Excuse me.
facials and lashes because, again, the scalp is part of our skin. Um, so we can take care of the skin on the face as well. And then we have a wonderful lady that does lashes and brows. So we kind of dabble into a little bit, but the main thing is to focus on the scalp because it is something that's neglected.
Okay, so I call you up or I go on your website and I make an appointment.
Yes.
How long? So I get there. So from the time that I lay down,
hmm
how long is the treatment?
So we have a 60, a 90, and then a 120 minute. Our 60 minute is 50 minutes hands on. Our 90 minute is 80 minutes hands on. And then the 120 would be 110 hands on. And that's,
Do you do it?
yes, I do it myself. I'm working out of the treatments just because I'm working on our second location.
Well, I'm not even
Um,
thinking of that. I'm thinking about
but yes, I do the
how
treatments
much
as well.
exercise and do you get tired?
Oh yeah,
Your
your
hands?
your hands cramp up, especially when you're going all week. Your hands cramp up. I made a joke to my husband the other day. I was in the mirror and I went to flex, and I was like, "Look at these muscles bouncing up! I'm massaging all sorts of heads." So
For me, I because of my wife, she goes to get pampered.
yep.
I'm a guy. We don't go to get pampered, but now that trend is changing.
Oh, absolutely.
Men, like my wife said to me, "Go for a pedicure. You want to go?" I said, "No." And it's not a macho thing.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
I have an issue, even with a manicure, of a file near my nails.
Mhm.
It's almost like nails on a chalkboard. It's almost like nails on a
I get it. I get
chalkboard,
it. Yeah.
you know. So those are issues that I have.
Mhm.
Do people? So I'm thinking about what you do. Does sometimes so Ma- Mary comes in the first time for a treatment.
Mhm.
Does she usually take the shortest treatment to see what it's like?
Our 90-minute is probably the most popular. Our 60 and 90-minute are the main ones, but then I would say the 90-minute is the most popular. The 90-minute, the main difference is it includes a facial massage and face mask. So you get a little bit extra of the scalp time, and then you also get a little nice, feel good facial massage and a face mask.
Does anybody fall asleep?
Um, Absolutely.
Okay.
And I tell you what, men are the worst. Men are the worst. They lay down on the bed and you go to start massaging and they're completely out. Snoring, and most people will say, "Don't mind me if I snore." But I mean, it's normal. It's very normal. It
Right,
feels
well,
so good. The
why would I not want to
senses,
warn you?
yeah.
Okay.
The senses on the scalp are just so different than the rest of the body. So it's an incredible treatment.
You know, my philosophy from years ago when I was a kid was if I was going to date you, you and people might take swing, but you have to have the whole thing. You have to buy me something, pencil, piece of gum, something. Because
Something.
if the next day I got something, I know we're on the same page.
Yeah.
If it took 2 months, I know we're not on the same page. Then you had to give me a hair tie, and people didn't understand that. I said it's almost like a woman wearing a man's shirt.
Mm,
The scalp and your hair emit the most amazing odor. And since you can't be with someone all the time, you have this with you.
mhm.
Um, and everybody thought, well, where do you come up with that stuff? But it's people that come up with stuff that make this world go round. Because your what you do is something that I'm going to guess if one or two people that are watching this has heard about it, that'd be a miracle
Yeah.
to me. More men or more women?
More women. Um, the men are starting to realize that it's okay to do it too. I would say about 2080. So the men are coming in. We actually have a lot of recently doing like dad and daughter type
Oh,
things. So that's been really cool. So we'll do children as well. We have a special 45-minute children's treatment that's really cool to if mom's coming in and she has a 12-year-old daughter, like the 12-year-old wants to do it too, that's really cool for
right.
her, so we can customize treatments and stuff differently for different scalp needs and different ages. Our oldest person has been over 80 that's came in. And
What's the
so
youngest person?
I do my son, he's 5.
Okay.
And he loves it.
Does he
But
fall asleep?
he's a little squirmy.
Okay.
He thinks that when I go to put the little halo up over his head, I'm going to go too far and it's going to get in his eyes. So he's like squirming the whole time. The lowest age paying customer was 7. So,
Wow.
so yeah.
7 to 80.
Yes, absolutely. So.
Okay. So they come in. I guess you have paperwork to fill out.
Yep, we do actually all that virtual. So when you make the appointment, you get 2 forms that are sent to you. We have a client intake form that just tells us a little bit about you before you come in, so we know what kind of hair we're dealing with, if you have any allergies, any kind of scalp issues. So we get kind of a good baseline of who's coming in before, so we can prep the day. And then you also get a liability waiver that gets signed before. And all that's virtual, so we're able to easily keep track of all of it. If for some reason it gets slipped, under the rug and it's not filled out before you come in, you'll do that before we start the treatment.
Okay. So I get there at noon.
Hmm.
And I'm taking a 90 minute. How long am I going to be there till?
You'll be out the door at 1:30.
Okay, so
Yep.
it's pretty much runs on time.
It runs on time. We're very, very busy, so we don't have any extra space to be, going over. We have a 30-minute cleanup window to flip the room because we're completely sanitizing everything in between,
Right.
changing all the sheets. So it's a very comfortable, cozy environment.
How many rooms do you have?
5 treatment rooms.
Wow.
So yeah, it's
So
been
I'm gonna
awesome.
guess when you saw this on TikTok, you said, "Hey, I'm gonna try this. All right, let me just rent a closet
Yeah,
because I didn't know how it's gonna go.
yeah. Rented a salon suite and
One room.
one room by myself. I was working 6 days a week, 8 to 10 hours each day, and I couldn't keep up. I would go home and my son would say, "I hope you never work again," because I was just gone. I was so, but I was invested into it. You know, this is what I wanted. I knew I could make it bigger than what it was, um, and I knew had to get on the trend before somebody else did,
Right.
and that was the biggest thing. It's one of those things you got to take the leap. You
Right.
got to be the first person to do it. And yes, it was scary, but look at us now. Um, so yeah, I started in the salon suite. Quickly realized I'm working too much. I cannot keep up at this rate. So I brought on two girls, and we kind of all rotated schedules within that salon suite while I was looking for a larger building. And then we moved. We started out right on the Jensen Beach Stewart line off US 1. And then I found the perfect location and moved us South Stewart. So
Do you? Is there training that goes to this?
there is training, yeah. There's online courses for it, but the method that I'm doing now at the head spa is completely created by me. It is a Japanese scalp therapy treatment that came from Japan still, so they get all the credit for that. But I created my own method. I chose all the products that I wanted to use, and we have a all natural product line, and then we kind of have our signature line, which is tea tree based. So very minty, very cooling. It has also a lavender smell to it. And that's kind of our signature line. But for the people that don't want to use, none of it's harsh chemicals or anything, but for the people that are they care about being natural, we have a natural line for them as well.
So is it being ignorant? Is it a shampoo that then goes into a wash? I mean, a
Yep.
massage.
So you start out with multiple steps. You start out with a dry scalp massage. You go into an exfoliant, and that's a product that's actually a physical exfoliant. Then you go into a liquid detox that gets applied to the scalp. And all that stuff is helping break up the dead skin, the dandruff, any kind of buildup. If you do have any kind of scalp issues, that's really help loosening all that up. And then from there, you go into a shampoo. Then we condition. We'll do a scalp mask to put all that moisture back on the scalp because it was all just stripped of everything. So it needs, it's going to be lacking moisture. And then you get a little bit of a hand, arm, and shoulder massage as well. So
So who does your hair? Or who does your scalp?
we all kind of do each other
Right.
there. We are so busy that it's hard, but if we catch a break, we do. We are working on each other. And then any kind of training and stuff is done on each other. So we get to play around with it a little bit. I don't get mine done as much as I would like, but
So for thought, how much training when you started? How
hmm
much training do you think you needed?
well, when I went into it, just doing all the research and everything was, I mean, it was hard to make that leap because I know there was nothing to go by other than these, training and videos from Japan, and there's obviously a language barrier.
Really?
All of the all of the products too. All of my stuff came directly overseas.
Wow.
It took me from the time I ordered my stuff. It took me 4 months before I got it because it came over by ship.
Wow.
So that's another thing that's making it hard for people to open these in the U.S. A lot of people don't want to take that leap and order directly from, overseas. As it does. It takes a long time. It's a big commitment. Um,
I
I don't know. I would say I studied and did like writing out my plan, what I was going to do, my treatments for probably 3 months. But when I train people now, it only takes a few weeks, so we're on it.
I mean, you started an industry that barely existed and didn't exist in the states.
Right.
I started an industry that didn't exist at all.
Yeah,
So
that's
I
awesome.
get it.
Yeah,
Okay, there was no like Zoom and Skype. I was the pioneer for,
that's awesome.
and what I got was, don't be stupid. Get a real job. It's a pipe dream.
Hmm.
But I stuck it out
Hmm.
and struggled, and
Yeah.
that's what starting a new business is about. Being an entrepreneur, you have to be a little crazy.
Oh yeah.
Being an entrepreneur with a brick and mortar, you have to be a little more crazy. And then being an entrepreneur with a brick and mortar in the food industry, you're totally crazy. Okay, you're totally crazy. Do your kids and I know they're very young,
Hmm.
do they look at this as something, as a future for them?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't think so. My son's probably going to end up in the boating industry with my husband.
Okay.
He has a very big passion for fishing. But yeah, I wouldn't say he'll end up in the like beauty industry. If I had a girl, probably absolutely, I would drive her straight into it. But
That's nice of you. Depends on how much money he's making. Well, depends on if he wants to go into it at
I
all.
would like to retire my husband here soon. Once we get enough locations going, and that's my plan. I want to franchise the business, and that's something I'm.
So the question is, will he do it if
He
it
won't
made
do the
enough money?
services. He's our maintenance man right now. He does
Okay.
that. He'll leave his, he gets off work at 4 o'clock. He'll work his full 40 hours a week, and he'll come to the spa and take care of whatever we need. So, but that's all stuff that you have to do when you own a business.
Oh yeah.
It's a full. It takes a village. My mom helps me a lot with my son,
Cool.
picking him up from school and stuff because I got to meet demands. So
Well, you would never succeed in business without family support.
oh, absolutely.
Okay, very, very difficult. So the last question I have to ask you is, are the beds that they're on, are they special or are they just like massage beds or
They are. Yeah, we have. There are some other head spas in the area, or within Florida, but we have the Japanese authentic head spa beds. They are specially made. They are huge. They
oh,
come in one piece. It does not come apart. So,
oh wow.
yeah, it's the size of a twin bed.
That's not huge. King size. King
Big
size.
when it's
I
coming
was
overseas in a
yes,
box.
that's true. But
So,
if you could do that, you've already attained success because my thought of success is buying something, a desk or whatever, and not having to put it together. Okay? So
mhm.
you got a bed, you didn't have to put it together, right?
This is true. Yeah,
So
it came all in one piece. So
yeah.
it's a nightmare to get in and out of these places, but we
Oh,
did
that's right,
it.
because you have to
So
move a couple times.
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
So
We're at the top of our time. How do people find you? You have a website?
yeah, we have Instagram, we have Facebook, we have our website, which is through Vagaro. It is www.vagaro.com/Treasure Coast Head Spa. Super easy to find if you go straight to Vagaro and use the search bar to type in our name, and then easily to find on Instagram and Facebook. So
You have a phone number.
yes, 561-489-3659.
Amanda, thank you so much for coming on.
Yes, absolutely. Happy
Everybody,
to be here.
understand something. First of all, this is something new. So if nothing else, you got to go try it and then let me know what it's about.
Absolutely.
Okay?
You gotta come see me too.
Because it's nerve-wracking for me to think of something new and someone massaging my head. And as soon as you said that, all I thought about was when I was younger, my mom had a cleaning lady for the house, like twice a month, I think.
Hmm.
And the cleaning lady would come on Tuesday. Monday, we'd have to clean the house.
Clean before you
So
clean, yeah.
I'm thinking, all right, if you go there, you got to wash your hair like really good.
But we say
Okay.
don't though, because we're about to do it. So don't worry about it. Do not be insecure about it. Like we've got it under control.
Okay,
So
and then the second part would be the snoring. But
yeah.
I'm lucky; I don't really snore that much, thank God. But everybody, you're so professional. Have a great day. We'll be right back.